Well, hello students. I am Pardeep Kaur, lecturer in chemistry. So continuing with the surface chemistry, today's topic for you is classification of colloids. Now, before classifying colloids or colloidal solutions, first let me throw light on the term colloids. However, we have already gone through about colloids, the true solutions, and the suspension. But before moving to classification, let me let me throw a bit of light on the colloids. Now, colloids are substances having particle size (10⁻⁹ to 10⁻⁻6 meters). Suppose I have a colloid which has two components. Any colloid having two components can be referred to as binary colloid, or we can also call it as binary colloidal solution. Basically, these are solutions, though they are not true. They are colloidal solutions. Their particle size is 10⁻⁹ to 10⁻⁻6 meters. Now, a solution having two components is known as binary solution. Now, since a binary colloidal solution has two components, the component which is taken in larger quantity, that is a component which is in larger quantity present in that very colloidal solution, is known as dispersion medium. So what is dispersion medium? It is the component of the colloidal solution which is in larger quantity. Similarly, the other component which is in smaller quantity, it is called dispersed phase. So, when a dispersed phase is mixed with or it is dissolved in dispersion medium, the product, that is the substance that we get after mixing them, is known as colloidal solution. Or more precisely, it will be a binary colloidal solution. So it is all about colloids. Now, colloids have different properties which we have already discussed. We will be discussing them in next lecture. But this time, let me classify colloids. We can classify colloids on different bases. Let us classify them on the basis of interactive forces between dP, that is dispersion medium, dispersed phase, and dispersion medium, which I just discussed you, that dispersed phase is the smaller component of the colloidal solution, while as dispersion medium is the larger component of the colloidal solution. So on the basis of interaction or on the basis of interactive forces that are operating between the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium, we can classify colloids into two classes. Number one, lyophilic colloids, and number two, are lyophobic colloids. So there are two types of colloids on the basis of interactive forces between dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. One is lyophilic colloids. Now, as far as lyophilic colloids are concerned, lyo means loving. Lyophilic means philic means loving, and lyophilic means loving, and lyo means solvent. So what are now lyophilic colloids? Lyophilic colloids are those colloids which are solvent loving. So in other words, we can define lyophilic colloids as those colloids which are solvent loving, or in other words, these are those colloids in which there is higher affinity between dP and dM, between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. When there is higher affinity, when there are higher interactive forces, stronger interactive forces between dP and dM, then such a colloid is known as lyophilic colloids. These colloids, they get formed quite easily. We don't require any special methods for their formation. So a lyophilic colloid can be easily prepared by just mixing and shaking them. And these colloids are reversible colloids. If we give some examples, the examples of lyophilic colloids are starch, proteins, rubber, gelatin. These are some common examples of lyophilic colloids. Now, as far as lyophobic colloids are concerned, lyo again means solvent, and phobic, this is not philic this time, this is phobic. Phobic means hating. So these are those colloids which are solvent hating. By solvent I mean dispersion medium. That is, the interactive forces between dm and dp, they are weak. When there are weak interactive forces operating between dispersion medium and dispersed phase, then the colloid that gets formed is known as lyophobic colloid. Now these colloids, they cannot be formed easily. They need special methods for their preparation. So if these colloids are to be prepared, we need different methods, very specialized methods for their preparation. These colloids are irreversible in nature, while as lyophilic colloids were reversible in nature. Some examples of lyophilic colloids are arsenious sulfide, solution of silver. This is an example of lyophobic colloid. Similarly, solution of gold. These are some common examples of lyophobic colloids. So there are two classes of colloids on the basis of interactive forces between them. So we can make another base for their classification, and that base is on the basis of type of particle that are present in colloidal solutions are simply colloids. Now on this basis, on the basis of type of particles, there are again two types of these colloids. One is, however, there are three types on this basis, but here we shall be discussing only two. One is multi-molecular colloids. Now by molecule we mean particle. So on that basis of type of particle, multi-molecular colloids, these are those colloids which are formed These are basically aggregates. These are aggregates of atoms. So many atoms combined, or molecules. So these are aggregates of atoms and molecules. But here one thing is to be kept in mind, that the size of these atoms or these molecules should be less than 1 Newton meter, 1 nanometer. Please remember that these atoms and the molecules which get aggregated, which get combined to form multimolecular colloids, their size should be less than 1 nanometer. And as far as some examples of multimolecular colloids are concerned, they are examples of solution of gold, sulfur atom molecules, S8 molecules. These are common examples of multimolecular colloids. So what are multimolecular colloids? These are those colloids which are aggregates. That is, by aggregate we mean various atoms combined, various molecules combined to form multimolecular colloids. But one thing is to be kept in mind, that the size of these atoms or these molecules should be less than 1 nanometer. Then we have another type on the basis of particle, that is macromolecular. By the word macro we mean big size. Their size, these colloids have bigger size. The size of dp, that is dispersed phase particles, the size of dp particles is big in this case. So what happens in these molecules, in these macromolecules? A large number of smaller molecules, combine to form a big molecule, and that big molecule is known as macromolecule. Now, how many molecules may combine? Hundreds and thousands of smaller molecules. Hundreds and thousands of smaller molecules combine to form a macromolecule. For example, cellulose is common example of a macromolecule. Similarly, starch is another example of macromolecule. Then we have plastics. Or in other words, we can say that bigger molecules, that is, these are, for example, PVC, polyvinyl chloride. This is again, these are polymers basically. So polymers are also known as macromolecules. So this is all about. However, we have another class, that is associated molecules, but we shall not be discussing that here. So classification of colloids, we have classified colloids on two bases. On the basis of interactive forces, there are two classes, lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Then on the basis of particle type, there are again two classes, multimolecular colloids and macromolecular colloids. So it is all for today. Thank you very much.